I bought the fastest Nintendo Switch 2 gaming setup and used it as a budget gaming PC.
Okay, so here I have my Nintendo Switch 2, but I also have this thing right here, which is a PC gaming adapter for the Switch 2. And I actually use this for a different video, and it basically allows you to actually connect keyboard and mouse inputs to the Switch 2. Since normally the Switch 2 doesn't actually allow you to plug in a keyboard and mouse. And basically with this adapter, it reads keyboard and mouse inputs for the Switch 2 as like a controller input, so you guys could actually use it for games like Fortnite. So honestly, this Switch 2 setup is gonna be like a really nice budget gaming PC setup. Basically going to connect the Switch 2 to a keyboard and mouse as well as a gaming monitor. Since I'm pretty sure the screen on the Nintendo Switch 2 is a 60 Hertz display, but when you actually plug it into an external monitor, I'm pretty sure it actually could run 120 Hertz. But yeah, basically with this adapter, I'm gonna go ahead and just plug it in directly to the Switch 2. And on this adapter, it actually tells you where to plug in a keyboard and mouse on both these USBs. And it's honestly really easy. All you gotta do now is just plug it straight into the Switch 2, just like that. But I also do have a few other things for this Nintendo Switch 2 for the entire Switch 2 setup. Okay, so the first thing we have for this Nintendo Switch gaming setup is this gaming monitor that I did buy for this Nintendo Switch 2. And it is honestly a pretty cheap gaming monitor, but since I'm trying to build this Nintendo Switch 2 like a PC gaming setup, I did obviously need to get an external monitor that could run 120 Hertz. Since I'm pretty sure the Nintendo Switch 2 has like a 120 Hertz display option for like external monitors. So on its actual screen for the Switch 2, it runs at 60 Hertz, but I think it could actually run 120 Hertz if you connect it to a gaming monitor. So yeah, this gaming monitor is kind of like a generic brand gaming monitor, but it could run 120 Hertz, and also overclock to 165 Hertz. It's from a company called Folk, and this monitor was only freaking $85. So it's a really cheap gaming monitor that can run a pretty high refresh rate, which is all we basically need for this Switch 2 gaming setup. Since I'm also connecting the Switch 2 to a keyboard and mouse, so we basically do need a monitor for that. And yeah, here it is. We have this 120 Hertz Folk gaming monitor. It's also a curved gaming monitor, so that is also a plus. But kind of just taking a look at this monitor, it is pretty slim, which is definitely really good. You guys can see its screen is actually really slim. It's not like really thick like cheap gaming monitors have it. So yeah, really cool 24-inch curved display with a really high refresh rate, which is perfect for the Switch 2. So let's go ahead and just quickly set up the base for this monitor, which is only 2 pieces. So it's a really easy installation process as well. Also, since I am using a pretty cheap gaming monitor, I think I'm actually downgrading from the really high resolution coming from like the Switch 2 screen. Yeah, the installation process literally took like 30 seconds. It was really easy. But yeah, here we have it, a 24-inch gaming monitor for the Switch 2. It honestly just looks like your typical gaming monitor. It is really light, I gotta say. It's like definitely really light, and also the base is kind of cheap, but it really doesn't matter since I'm really just focusing on the high refresh rate screen. But yeah, we have a 24-inch gaming monitor. I'm actually really glad that the screen is like pretty slim, and it only has an HDMI port. I just realized that, so there's no display port, and also the base of this monitor comes off really easily. But other than that, this gaming monitor is kind of perfect for the Switch setup. I believe the resolution is only a 1920 by 1080p resolution, but honestly, this should do for the Switch setup, which is perfect since it's really cheap as well. Okay, so the next thing for this setup I have is a Nintendo Switch 2 Cool Fan TV dock. This thing kind of just looks like the regular dock that the Switch 2 comes with, but it basically just has RGB as well as like a built-in cooling fan. And obviously this thing is kind of like a necessity for the gaming setup, just because I literally have the Nintendo Switch 2 connected to a external monitor. I also have it connected to a keyboard and mouse, just like a bunch of stuff connected to the Switch 2. Like the Switch definitely should overheat. So what we're gonna be using is this thing over here, which has 2 built-in fans, and it also holds like the Nintendo Switch as a dock, which is perfect. Usually if you guys would be playing on the Switch 2 and the display and not an external monitor, this thing wouldn't help. But since I am connecting the Switch 2 to a external monitor, I'm pretty sure I can go ahead and just place the Switch like this. Actually, I don't even know. How do you even place this thing and set it up? I think you might actually need like the dock that it actually comes with as well. So yeah, I have it over here. Let's go ahead and try to just place it on top. Okay, yeah, just like that. You guys can see it just fits in just like that. Super, super perfect. And then from there, I mean, we can go ahead and just slide the Nintendo Switch on. Boom, there we go. It's literally that easy to install. And it has RGB and built-in cooling fan, so the Switch 2 shouldn't overheat at all for only $20. So it's a really, really cheap thing that hopefully should be able to cool down the Switch 2. If not, I don't know, but it has really cool RGB. We go ahead and just plug in the USB to the back of this dock, just like that, and then we can go ahead and just plug it into the dock itself. And we should have this thing fully set up now. All I gotta do is just plug this thing in, and we have the entire gaming setup fully set up, just like that. And I'm gonna show you guys the RGB once it actually is fully set up. Now moving on, I do have the gaming mouse for this Switch 2 setup, and like I said, I am connecting a keyboard and mouse to the Switch 2, so that thing's literally gonna become like a gaming PC setup. So I did pick up a gaming mouse for the setup. Once again, I did kind of go on like the budget cheaper route for this gaming mouse. I'm pretty sure this mouse was only about like $30, so definitely a pretty cheap mouse. And this mouse right here is the Alla wireless gaming mouse. I've actually seen this gaming mouse on like the TikTok shop as well for like super, super cheap, but like the delivery is so freaking long. I'm pretty sure the TikTok shop takes about like 2 months to actually deliver it. So I just went ahead and bought the same exact thing on Amazon, which was like double the price you get on the TikTok shop. But yeah, here it is. We have this Alla wireless gaming mouse. And right off the bat, just feeling this thing, it's on the much heavier side for a gaming mouse. This thing is like a good 60 grams or so. So it's not like really, really lightweight, but it's also like not really too heavy. And it also comes with like these mouse grip sticker things, which is definitely really cool. But yeah, this thing honestly kind of looks like the Superlight and the Viper V3 combined. And overall, I feel like the switches inside of this gaming mouse is definitely pretty fast. I actually really like the shape of this mouse. It feels pretty easy to actually hold on, and I'm pretty sure the glide should be pretty good as well. And obviously this thing could be used wirelessly and wired, so we can go ahead and just take out this USB dongle. So yeah, this mouse is pretty good for this setup. I also do need to connect this thing to like the Switch 2 adapter, which allows me to connect keyboard and mouse inputs onto the Switch 2. And I do need to mess around with the DPI for this mouse as well. I'm pretty sure the DPI button is just this right over here in the back. But yeah, this mouse is pretty solid. It definitely feels pretty fast. It's nothing too crazy, obviously, just because it is $30, but I believe the scroll wheel should have a little bit of RGB over on the side. And that's literally it, unless like the logo lights up as well, which I doubt. But yeah, we have a pretty solid $30 mouse for the Switch 2, nothing too crazy. And now for the mechanical gaming keyboard that I got for this setup, I actually have this keyboard for like a month that I've never used for a long time. I believe this thing was only about $35, and it is a pretty fast gaming keyboard as well. I can go ahead and just connect this thing directly to the Switch 2 adapter as well, just so we can use it with a keyboard and mouse input for the Switch 2. But yeah, you guys can look at the gaming keyboard. This thing looks really, really nice. The only bad thing is I believe this thing is only a wired, unless there is, okay, never mind. There is a wireless dongle, so it should be able to connect to the Switch 2 adapter really easily. And yeah, this keyboard, I believe, has yellow switches. But yeah, taking a look at the switches that this keyboard actually has, you guys can see it's some type of red switch, which is kind of like my favorite switch, just because it honestly sounds really, really nice. And once I actually plug this thing into the Switch 2, the RGB coming from this keyboard is also really, really bright and vibrant. It just matches really, really well with these really nice like keycaps going on. Overall, it just gives like the Switch 2 a really, really nice aesthetic. And not to mention, this keyboard is also pretty fast. Here's kind of the sound test of the switches on this keyboard. And for a $35 gaming keyboard, this thing isn't really too cheap. It is still a fully plastic build, but it's honestly really, really nice. It kind of looks like a custom gaming keyboard, I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, we have a really solid gaming keyboard for the Switch 2. And this thing should be able to be used for the Switch 2 exactly like a gaming PC would. Okay, so this is what the Nintendo Switch gaming setup is looking like. You guys can see over here, we have the Nintendo Switch 2 on this cooling fan dock that is also connected to this 120 hertz gaming monitor. And with this dock, I'm pretty sure there's like different fan mode levels. Looks like right now it's only on like level 1. I guess we can go ahead and press like these buttons. Okay, this just changes the RGB. So this right here should change the fan speed. Oh my. the fans are actually like powering up, bro. But yeah, you guys can also change the RGB from this dock, which is definitely pretty cool. And to actually connect a keyboard and mouse to the Nintendo Switch 2, behind the dock, I actually connected the adapter. You guys can see the adapter right over here with the USB dongles from the keyboard and mouse connected straight to this dock over here, which is the Nintendo Switch 2. And then everything just links right back into this 120 Hertz gaming monitor. But now time to test out how this Nintendo Switch 2 gaming setup will perform. First off, I just want to change the DPI coming from this mouse. Just like that, I changed the DPI. I'm pretty sure it's much higher now. Okay, I might need to change it just a little bit more. Does this thing not work? Am I tripping? Am I tripping? But yeah, regardless, you guys can see we have keyboard and mouse inputs for this Nintendo Switch 2. I'm pretty sure right now we are with like the 120 Hertz display. The game definitely feels a lot smoother than the original Nintendo Switch. And if you guys seen my video where I used the adapter with the Nintendo Switch, it's actually really hard to build on the Nintendo Switch 2. It is possible, but it's just like really, really bad. I honestly do not have time to actually like start learning how to build with it. Like the adapter is definitely really weird when it comes to actually building. But if you guys want me to go ahead and take like a week to try to master that, I can go ahead and do that. Let me know in the comments below. So yeah, definitely really frustrating, but what we can do is literally play like zero build, as you guys can see. This thing literally feels identical to a gaming PC. I mean, both this keyboard and mouse are definitely really, really nice. The display is definitely really, really smooth. We are still running a 1920 by 1080p resolution, but like this thing honestly just feels like playing on Xbox or something with keyboard and mouse. It doesn't feel like I'm actually playing from a Nintendo Switch, obviously. But yeah, you guys can see this thing literally just feels identical to like a console with keyboard and mouse. Some of you guys might not actually believe me, but yeah, you guys can see we're still moving right now. It is a Nintendo Switch 2, but once I actually press the escape key on my keyboard, just like this, you guys can see the Nintendo Switch 2 display menu just pops up just like that. And with this Nintendo Switch 2 dock, I do have the fans on literally the max speed. And just to let you guys listen to what it actually sounds like, that thing is definitely pretty loud, I'm not gonna lie. But that basically means that it's actually doing its job. I mean, the Nintendo Switch 2 should be not overheating too much. Cracked. Oh, yeah, I forgot, bro. There's literally aim assist. There's literally aim assist with keyboard and mouse, man. I completely forgot. If you guys actually connect a keyboard and mouse to the Nintendo Switch 2, it's kind of crazy, but you're literally gonna get aim assist, which is just ridiculous since you're literally on keyboard and mouse. Let me go ahead and like find someone else just to show you guys, because this thing is actually like really, really broken. I'm not even lying. You guys can see, bro. This thing actually just tracks people. This is ridiculous. And also with this keyboard and mouse, obviously it's definitely pretty fast. It's like really responsive, which is definitely good. Let me go ahead and use like an SMG or something just to show you guys how broken aim assist is. Oh crap, what the? Oh, bro, what? This literally feels identical to playing like keyboard and mouse on your Xbox Series S or something, but the only difference is that I feel like there's just a little bit more input delay and there's freaking aim assist with keyboard and mouse. But yeah, with the Switch 2, there's no frame drops at all. So compared to the Switch 1 when I actually played like this, there was frame drops and stuff, but with the Switch 2, obviously it's so much better. There's no frame drops at all. This is honestly like a gaming PC like experience. I'm not even joking. It's just like a little bit more input delay, and obviously the resolution, everything is not as good. Also, they do put you in Nintendo Switch lobbies, so this just makes it completely unfair. These are Switch players right here. Oh my, oh, aim assist, aim assist. Oh, yeah, you guys can see this thing is literally a cheat code, completely unfair to actual Switch players, bro. Oh, I missed. But aim assist will kick in. Oh, and obviously with this monitor, it's still very, very smooth. So there's like no problems with that at all. I think this entire Nintendo Switch 2 like setup costs less than like 700 bucks as well. So still makes a pretty decent like budget gaming PC setup. It's just obviously, like I said, there's a decent amount of input delay and you're not going to be able to use like performance mode or anything. So the game just makes it even worse. I missed. Oh my tracking. Oh my god, the sensitivity is just so low. Oh my tracking. The game feels like I'm playing on like 500 ping or something. It just has that much delay. Okay, what the heck? It just kicking. Oh. Let me show you guys. Once I actually get close to someone and the crosshair is on them, it actually turns red like that, which means there's aim assist. Boom, there we go. So as you guys can see without it, you guys can see it's white crosshair. Once I'm on this guy, red crosshair. Aim assist just like that, bro. Just like that. But close range, it's like really, really broken. I'm not even joking, bro. This thing is like completely broken. Yeah, far range, you guys can see, this is like my pure aim. It's not good at all, obviously, but with like closer aim and stuff, aim assist is like kicking in like crazy, bro. There are still some like actual Switch players, or maybe these are all just Switch players, but they're really, really bad. I'm not sure. Kicking. I didn't even move the mouse. You guys can actually like replay that or something, bro. I didn't even move the mouse at all. And actually with like this Nintendo Switch cooling station thing, the fans are actually getting more quieter. I'm not too sure why, but they're not as loud as they were before, which is definitely weird since it would get louder as like you play longer, which I don't know, but aim assist. Oh, I'd even move up. Like I'm pretty sure this keyboard and mouse input would also will work with like other games besides Fortnite, obviously. Setup is like really, I'd even shoot that way. Oh my. Also, I didn't experience any frame drops throughout the entire game, so you guys already know the Switch 2 is very, very, very good. Oh, this guy's actually real. This is the first real player of the game. I'm not even joking, and he's still bad. He's like a Switch player, but oh my, look at the aim assist. Look at aim assist. Look at aim assist. Look at it. Look at aim assist. Jump. Show the viewers, bro. Show the viewers. Look at that. Look at that. Okay. No. Lock in. Let's freaking go, bro. This Switch 2 setup is just unfair, bro. This is unfair. This is actually like just PC. Ridiculous, bro. Let's go, bro. GG's.